Hello, underachievers. So I feel like you guys know a lot about me. You know how tall I am. You know how much I weigh. You know all about my weird childhood phases. And you also kind of know about that one time I pooped myself when I was really ill. So I thought it would be cool to film a video today where I tell you guys even more stuff about me. You guys are gonna know my entire life story by the time I finish making YouTube videos. So this is my second video in partnership with NCS. If you didn't know already, NCS is a 4-week experience for 15 to 17-year-olds in England and Northern Ireland. Their new Know We Can campaign is all about subverting the opinions that limit us and also challenging people's expectations of young people. I feel like their campaign kind of fits in with this video. You know, I might challenge your expectations. So let's just get straight into the video. 5 things that you don't know about me. Although you may know these things about me. I don't keep track of everything I say on the internet. So the first thing you probably don't know about me if you don't watch every single video I make and look at every post I make is that I have anxiety. And I've mentioned it a few times here and there, but I've never made a video about it, and I kind of wanted to talk about it properly. I feel like a lot of the time when I tell people, mostly on the internet, that I have anxiety, they're kind of caught off guard and they don't expect me to have it because I'm so open online and I seem confident. Apparently I come across as confident. I don't know about that. I was actually diagnosed with anxiety at the age of 12, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I do not remember that happening. I remember going to appointments, but it's on my medical record somewhere, so. I remember around that time people just assumed I was shy, but looking back, I was like, no, I just had anxiety. And I was actually very loud and just happy when I was around people that I was comfortable with, but when it came to like meeting new people or being around people I don't know, I just couldn't deal with it. I was terrified of meeting new people, and I still kind of am. Getting a bit better. But yeah, when I was young, I used to literally hide behind my mum's leg and refuse to talk to people. And I bet people thought I was rude. I wasn't trying to be rude, I was just really scared. As I've gotten older, it's affected me differently, I'd say. I find it easier to speak to people that I don't know, but it still kind of takes me a lot of courage to put myself in situations like that, like going to parties. Even if I know people there, I'll still be like, wow, this is scary. And let's be real, a lot of the time, it's really scary to leave the house, because I'm filled with such, like, an overwhelming sense of dread, which sucks. And it's really annoying, because I know that nothing bad is gonna happen if I leave the house. Realistically, if I leave the house and I come back, I'll probably be feeling better than I was in just my room. It's really irritating, because a lot of the time, I used to have, like, I don't know how to explain it. I used to have, like, really bad, like, mental anxiety, so I'd think about everything, but a lot of the time now, it's more just, like, body anxiety, so the thought of leaving the house, my body will just be like, ugh. And I'll start shaking, or start shivering, or start sweating. I'll get cold and sweat at the same time, cold sweats. But like the worst part is just like this weird like feeling in my chest. It's like burning, it feels horrible. You know when you feel really guilty about something and you feel it in like your whole torso? That's kind of what my anxiety feels like a bit. Except that nothing I can think will help it, it just has to go away. And surprisingly or surprisingly not, hormones have really affected my anxiety, which is really annoying, because like being on testosterone has really helped me out with confidence and just like being able to be a person, but you know, kind of sucks too. And I'm sure this doesn't work for everybody, but I think it works for me. But recently I've realized that like pushing myself to do things that I am terrified to do, or having someone else push me into doing things I'm terrified to do, usually helps me be less scared of them the next time I do them. Although a lot of the time, panic ensues, but... But yeah, I just wanted to mention it and talk about it, and I felt like this video was kind of like a chill way to talk about it. I just feel like a lot of people could probably relate to this, and I kind of just wanted to show that, like, people you may not expect could be struggling, and you don't know that. I don't know, people can surprise you. I don't know why my face looks like that, but I guess it does. Like, not gonna lie, recently I talked about having a panic attack, and people just started commenting being like, are you sure you had a panic attack? Are you sure you're not lying? Is that actually true? Do you even know what a panic attack is? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And they said the reason for me having a panic attack was so petty that it couldn't turn into a panic attack. But I think that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because anxiety is so illogical that you can't really help it. But yeah, there's one thing you may or may not have known about me. I have anxiety. Surprise. I don't know. The second thing you didn't know about me, which is more cheerful, is that I play music by ear. If you don't know what that means, it's pretty much where I can hear a song or like a tune and be able to replicate it without being told how to play it, if that makes sense. Back in the day when I was a spam account, a lot of people used to follow me because I did like emo guitar covers, and like that was cool, but I learned the majority of those songs by ear, so when people asked me for the tab, I had to write them tab, and that was painful. And for a while I didn't actually realize that it's weird that something like that is so easy to me, and I feel like I sound like an idiot. Like, not in a cocky way, I genuinely just like didn't realize that was a thing. And I think it's probably why I found it so easy to teach myself guitar. I am self-taught guitar, and I got one when I was 14 for Christmas, and that's how I learned guitar. I'm thinking of teaching myself piano at some point because I really just want to be able to play Bella's Lullaby, you know, the Twilight song. This is what I have so far. I'm glad I can play by ear because I cannot read sheet music for my life. Literally, I was grade 8 at drums and I could not sight read anything. But if you play something to me, I can play it back. So that's the second thing you may not know about me. The third one is different. The third one is that I really cannot deal with certain textures. And I feel like this is a weird one that I thought a lot more people would relate to, but I don't think they do. Like, turns out it's not normal. So pretty much, I have a problem with the way certain textures feel, and just the thought of touching them makes me want to cry, or vomit, or just like rip out my teeth. And this is something that I've always had, but I feel like it's gotten worse the more aware of it I've become. For example, a big one for me is the thought of touching like dry wood, and by dry wood I mean the one that's not varnished, so like chopsticks and like wooden spoons that are like not smooth, they're just dry. Yeah, they really make me want to cry. I have pretty much cried when I've tried to touch them. It just makes me feel really anxious, and like genuinely like the feeling of them is like so overwhelmingly disgusting to me. Another one I had recently was that I was drying a really sharp knife with a towel, and the feeling of the knife scraping against the towel made my teeth itch. You never do that. And like, honestly, it's not just that I don't like it, it's that I genuinely just can't deal with that. It made me shiver. It was so disgusting. And funny thing is, like, I was on the way to somewhere. I was about to get a train journey, so I went to the shops and I bought some snacks, and they didn't have any plastic cutlery, so the guy gave me a wooden spoon. Disgusting. And I had like fruit, I had like other food, I had like hula hoops, and the thought of eating with a wooden spoon put me off my food so much that I couldn't eat anything for like hours. And by like, I had hula hoops that I could have eaten without a spoon, but I just couldn't eat them because the thought of the wooden spoon made me feel ill. To be honest, the whole texture thing is like funny to me. Like, it's funny, it's ridiculous, I shouldn't be that upset about wooden spoons, but that's a thing. So the fourth thing you might not know about me is that I was a sports scholar. This is me staring at a rat. When I tell people I was a scholar at school, a lot of people assumed I was a music scholar because, like, I don't know, they think I did music, but the last time I took a music class, I was 13. But yeah, I was actually a sports scholar. I was just, like, really fit as a kid. Like, when I was 10, I had a six-pack, which is unreasonable. Why can't I have a six-pack now? I have testosterone in my body, and I don't have a six-pack. But sports I really enjoyed were like hockey and judo and rugby. And I actually played rugby for the boys team up until I was 12, because apparently once you're 12, girls can't play with boys. But I could have beaten up those 12-year-old boys. And I was sick at judo, like so sick. Like, I'm not now, so I don't feel like a loser for saying this, but like, I was really good at judo. I won the nationals twice, and I came second in the internationals. And I have a lot of trophies and medals at my dad's house, but like, I stopped doing it when I was quite young because I got depressed, and surprise, I had anxiety, so every time I had a judo competition, I would just have like anxiety attacks, and they really stressed me out, and then I'd just be sad, and it wasn't good for my brain. But I still really enjoy sports, and I want to get into a sports team, kind of. I know I can't play rugby anymore, I'm too skinny and I'm 5'5". Yeah, I enjoy sports. Maybe you didn't know that about me, I did sports. So the last thing you probably didn't know about me, I'm pretty sure not many people know this about me, is that I stand wrong. So this one sounds like a lie, but it's completely true. And I've always had issues with the joints in my legs. I had baby knees, they're very weak, they are still very weak. I would get random hip pains all the time, and at some point in my life, this thing started happening where if I wanted to run, my ankles had to click. Like, if I tried running without clicking my ankles, they would click in such an awkward way and I'd be limping. It wasn't fun. So my dad took me to some special doctor man who works with athletes, and turns out a lot was wrong with me. So the first thing is that I stand wrong, and by standing wrong, I mean that I stand with my knees locked back. What is this? I stand with my knees locked back, and it's not just like, oh yeah, I do that too. I stand with them locked back, but I'm also hypermobile. So by locked back, it's not just like this, it's like this. I stand with my legs just like wrong, which obviously puts strain on my knees and my hips and everything. The second thing is that I have a knee condition, which I don't know the name of, and I didn't write it down. It's not Osgood Schlatters. They thought I had that when I was a kid, but it's not that. I just don't. I need to know what it's called. And the third thing is that my hamstrings are too short. I'm not really sure what that is about. Apparently my dad has the same thing, but like I am very tight in the hamstring. Like they just twitch sometimes, and I remember being in PE class and the whole class did this flexibility test where they try and stretch as far as they can on their legs or whatever. They put their legs flat on the ground and you put your arms forward, you stretch as far forward as you can. I was like a good 10 centimeters behind everybody else in that class. And I was given exercises to help with all of this, but I didn't do any of them. I probably should. So that was the fifth thing you didn't know about me. Now you know all these things about me. What are you gonna do with that information? Tell me 5 things that people probably don't know about you, if you want to share them. Please don't tell me very intricate details about your life. But yeah, that was the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day or don't. See you later, losers. Give you a punch. Give you a punch.